Thank you to all the amazing listeners out there. On behalf of the Reef Podcast, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for our future mentions on the new episode. Have a great day.
Hi everybody, my name is LuisIpa, joined here by the great ZDP in the house. What's good, brother?
What's up? We're here again. Hopefully I can have a better week than last week. Oh man, it was atrocious, but we'll get to that.
I want to thank everybody that listened in to the last sportscast here on the Reef Podcast brand. Thank you so much for everybody that has come in. We had Big Will last week, and now we have a new guest. You want to introduce him real quick, ZDP?
One of my greatest friends I've known for quite some time. Love to go through and have him on the podcast. The one and only Doyle. Let's go. Doyle, tell us one fun fact about yourself, man.
Appreciate you guys having me here. Fun fact for me is I'm the only true Southern-born person in my whole family. Everyone else was born in the North, so I am technically the black sheep of my family. By that standard.
I thought you were born up north.
No, I'm born in Tennessee. My whole family's born up north in Chicago and area.
Got you. Well, let's get to this stuff. Week 1 reactions. There's a lot of great things that happened this past week. You had a lot of upsets. You had a lot of flipping the scripts and just some heat. But I'm going to go through and start off with the matchup between Minnesota versus the Bears. So you go from a pick 6 from J.J. McCarthy, flipping the script to go through and have 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. This man took off all last season, came in his first game in the NFL, and to be able to go through and perform at a clutch manner. There's something there with JJ. But on the flip side, you have Caleb Williams. He had a hot start, but couldn't respond to when Minnesota's defense started to surge up late in the game. What are you guys' take on this?
Before I actually dive a little bit into it, thank you, Dennis Allen, for leaving the Saints, because now I know that you have not changed. You're still the same Dennis Allen that was here in New Orleans. So thank you for making us look better, actually, because my goodness, let 21 unanswered points just like that. It shows he's lost his magic. So basically, this is how I put it. It's too early to say. I honestly think that if he stays healthy, he can actually do really well with the Vikings.
My take on the game is it showed one quarterback showing growth throughout the game with J.J. McCarthy having the pick 6, struggling first 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter finally showing you why Minnesota took that chance on him in the first round after everyone was doubting him because he came from Michigan, which was a very run-happy team, to him showing why he could win the game passing, where Caleb Williams can play a great couple of quarters, but when the time matters, he disappears. He's going to have that mistake. He's going to do something that you're like, why? What Caleb are we going to get? Are we going to get that good Caleb we saw last year? Are we going to get this Caleb we just saw this previous where it's a blowout and you look good in garbage time and have a great pass to Roma Dunze?
I want to go through and get to the next game, Ravens versus Bills.
This game right here, dude. I was speechless because I was like, oh my gosh, the Bills are getting destroyed. Lamar does what Lamar does. He's basically everything in the Ravens right now, dude. Did you guys hear the chants for MVP? Please tell me you heard the chants for MVP for Lamar in Buffalo. The fact that they were chanting MVP on Josh Allen's turf, that's just like disrespectful. What did Josh Allen do? He stayed calm. He's like, you know what? Okay. Let's show them who the true MVP is going to be.
Let's start off with this. You had Josh Allen's final 4 minutes. You thought March Madness is wild. Man, this guy in 4 minutes down 15 points, went beast mode, totaling for the full game of 394 yards, 4 total touchdowns, and a game-winning drive. Fun fact, this is the 8th loss that the Ravens have had when they had a 90% or greater chance to win a game. A 90% chance in this franchise. We know the Ravens franchise has been a very successful franchise, but to go through and have these losses with such a high percentage is like, what's going on here? So I have a question for you guys. Who do you think is here to blame for this loss for the Ravens? Is it Lamar? Is it Derrick Henry? Or is it Baltimore's defense? Lamar had a sensational game. You can't knock the guy for the game. People go through and say he wasn't clutch. It's Derrick Henry's fault. Dude went through and almost had 200 yards. I think like 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, but fumbled when it mattered the most. I understand the Ravens are the ex-Browns. I understand the Browns be Brownsin'. But is this like a little history of the Browns? The fact that they had a fumble on a potential game-sealing drive. You had a 13-yard rush from Lamar Jackson. And then the play after that, Derrick Henry went through and fumbled. But on top of that, after the fumble, Baltimore's defense could not hold the winning drive from Josh Allen. So ultimately, the defense?
Yes, you can credit Derrick Henry for the fumble, Lamar for having a so-so fourth quarter, not wanting to make some key plays, the defense for giving up all those yards and being torched all game. It all lands at the feet of the coach. He could have easily game planned a little bit better. He could have had timeouts to burn, trying to draw the Bills who are going for it and saying, we're going to draw them off sides. Just doing some crazy things that we've seen all other coaches do. Start the offense on, run the punt team out, or put the punt team on, run the offense out there. Just trying to create some chaos to get that extra easy 5 yards, get the first down, game's over. You don't ever risk putting the ball in Josh Allen's hands, who's on fire, who has torched your defense, who has shown you game's on the line. Don't give it to him. You do everything possible to not let him get the ball.
I honestly miss when the Ravens were known for the amazing defense. Ray Lewis days and all that stuff. Man, I miss those days. I think the Bills actually exposed them. Now that the week 1 is over, all the teams are going to take some tape from that and say, hey, let's do the same thing Buffalo did right here. The next game right here, we got Pittsburgh and New York Jets.
Is it the real Steelers or is this the real Jets? The Steelers normally are known for their great defense and a bad offense. Do they finally have that offense to go with the defense they've always been had? Same with the Jets. They always been known for defense. Is this offense actually going to sustain, or did we just see two defenses not actually show up and the offenses just showed out for once for both these teams, or is this going to be sustainable for both offenses? That's the only question I really have of this game. Great performance by Aaron Rodgers, finally showing up like he used to. Are we just going to watch and see if he just crash and burns or what?
I'm going to start off with this. My take on Rodgers last week is not looking so great right now after him going through and torching that Jets defense. So he probably listened into the podcast, heard what I had to say, and he want to go through and prove me wrong. But with that being said, week 1, it's week 1. And as I was going through and watching I think it was Good Morning Football, week 1 is a liar. You can never go through and judge a season based off of the first week. By week 2, maybe week 3, you'll be able to go through and see what it's about. Because you're going to go through and have some teams show out and some teams not really prosper the way that they need to go through and play. Like the Bengals this past week. I'll admit I was wrong. He didn't look like he was washed up. He looked like he was in his Green Bay days. With that being said, you have legacy versus destiny. Justin Fields is trying to go through and rewrite his story here from what people know him from in Chicago. The play that was there was questionable. I lined it more towards Garrett Wilson's fault. He should have caught that. But then again, Jalen Ramsey brought the steel curtain to the Jets. Are we going to see Justin Fields continue to write a narrative to where he can become clutch, which we haven't really seen? Are we going to go through and continue to see Rodgers prosper in this Steelers offense that has a lot of great pieces there?
All I gotta say about this game is revenge. He literally was with the Jets, and the Jets said, you know what? We're done with you. We're throwing you in the bin. What did Pittsburgh said? Hey, let's give this guy a chance. So they went, look in the trash can. Oh, look, there's Rodgers. Hello. Let's pick him up and make him actually feel at home. And to throw for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, like you said, Green Bay days, dude. But I do got to give credit to Jets, though. Their running game was on point. Over 100 yards. Like, that's insane. But you can't just win by running the ball. You have to make sure the defense actually makes its stops. Clock management, my guys. Clock management. That's what you need.
So y'all want to get to hot takes?
My hot take, the Josh Allen comeback. He definitely looked like a MVP. He deserves that player of the week, like in general, like of every position.
My hot take is the Kansas City Chiefs will not make the AFC Championship game.
My hot take, Russell Wilson will not be starting in week 3. Yeah, Jackson Dart's going to take reign week 3.
Are we ready for some big news?
What do you guys think about the Jalen Carter situation, the suspension? In my opinion, he did serve a full game and gave up the full week's paycheck. With that being said, some people want to go through and talk about Dak started it because he was going through and grinning. He spat in the direction, and they had that altercation in between pre-game snap, and then Jalen Carter went through and spat on his chest. There isn't anything wrong with people spitting in the direction. Yeah, it's disrespectful. You don't want to spit at anybody. But there is no penalty if you go through and hit the ground. If you do the reaction, you're going to go through and get caught. You see it all the time in the NBA. All the time. The fouls, the flagrant fouls, the pass interference calls that aren't called all the time during college football or even in the NFL. Like, people go through and push off. I mean, they're doing a little bit better, a little bit better. But it's always the reaction that's going to be called. Now, it was front and center, and you saw it where he spat on his chest. I digress. I feel like it has been nullified. I think he served his time because it was a full game suspension. He was not able to play. And on top of that, forfeiting his week pay.
I mean, it's weird because it's like you did it and you got suspended for the game. And they're like, oh, hey, week 2, we're suspending him a game, but we're going to suspend him because technically he didn't play any week 1. Like Z said, it did get served, but it's just weird that they're like going to be able to backdate a suspension on a player because they're like, well, you didn't technically play the week, so it's just going to be opening a more interesting case by case down the line if in case this happens again. The NFL has basically already set their standard. The guy didn't play at all this game, so technically he was suspended, even though we're suspending him for a game. So it's just going to be interesting how the NFL handles this in the future with what they just put in play with this whole Jalen Carter situation.
This is my take on that. Be professional. Stop. If somebody spits on you or anything like that, just walk away. I mean, you're professional, right? You're in the NFL for a reason. You're not a kid anymore. If somebody provokes you, the best solution is to walk away from the problem. So let's go ahead and go into injuries now, shall we?
The biggest injury that came out of week 1 is George Kittle for the 49ers going on the IR. That's pretty much outside of McCaffrey, their offense. It is McCaffrey and Kittle. So now going forward, teams are just going to slowly do what the Seahawks did towards the end of the game. They're just going to stack the box, put 10 in the box, have 2 people on McCaffrey and say, all right, Brock Purdy, find someone else to beat us with.
For 49ers, their quarterback is actually not 100%. They might actually start a backup. I got a feeling that if they keep passing to McCaffrey, that's going to be another injury. McCaffrey is injury prone. And when he does get injured, he misses quite some time.
Yeah, Joe Mixon's still out. Tajee Spears still out from IR. Chris Godwin reportedly out. Brendan Ayuk's questionably out. Xavier Worthy, who is dealing with a shoulder injury. Same thing with Drake London. He suffered a sprained shoulder. Puka Nacua leaving the game with a concussion, but coming back. Brock Bowers, who has a knee injury. Evan Ingram with a calf injury, Isaiah Likely with a foot injury, Darnell Mooney with shoulder, Christian Kirk with hamstring, and then Will Shipley with a rib injury. But outside of that, that is your updates for injury report.
Let's go ahead and get to the matchups.
All right, so we got Thursday night's matchup. This is going to be a very, 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 very amazing game. A lot of varies there because we were going to talk about variables. My dad pun right there. All right, so I was wrong for my first week prediction with the Lions going through and winning in Lambeau. And, I forget about the aura that is in Lambeau. It's hard to win there. One of the best fan bases, the only fan base operated franchise that's still there. So you're looking at Jaden Daniels versus Green Bay's defense. Jaden Daniels, 19 for 30, 233 passing yards, 1 TD, 0 interceptions, 3 sacks, 68 rushing yards, while Green Bay's defense had 4 sacks, a total of 9 quarterback hits, held the Lions to 25% on red zone possessions, 7 tackles for loss of yards. Green Bay's defense was pretty stout this past week. How many snaps do you think Micah Parsons will have? I mean, he took 29 last week, which was about 45% of the defensive snaps in total. It's less than what he's accustomed to in Dallas. He still recorded a sack. With that being said, they need him more in this game to keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket. Jaden Daniels outside of the pocket is going to be very lethal. I mean, he ran for 68 yards and, had a solid game in the passing game. To go on your note talking about offensive lines, the Packers' offensive line was so smooth. Jordan Love was throwing the ball like butter. 3 passing plays that went for 20 or more yards. The Packers averaged 5.7 yards per play. And then there was 1 pick, but it was nullified because of Detroit's penalty they had on that game. My verdict for this game, it's going to be Green Bay winning in Lambeau in a close matchup, 24-21.
I agree with Daniels. He is a good quarterback. He's phenomenal. I think Jordan Love is going to be a little too much. Not only the offensive line is phenomenal for Green Bay, the whole chemistry, dude. The whole team feels in sync. Did you hear the commentators? They're like, oh, he's spreading the love to everybody. He's doing the love. I'm like, yeah, like he's getting recognized, dude. He's getting that recognition that he deserves. He's a good quarterback. That dude looked good against Detroit. We all know he's actually a good contender now. I got a feeling that Green Bay is going to have a blowout on this one. I think they're going to beat Washington, I'd say, by at least 14 points.
Going back to Z's point, I think Micah Parsons gets up there to that close to 70-80% of the defensive snaps. Slowly getting back. This would be 2 weeks. He stayed in shape. It's more just going to be like, how does that back feel still of his? This game, to me, is going to be which quarterback does not make the mistake. Yes, Jaden Daniels is going to be able to run and create plays, but he's going to have to make plays with his arm. And can he avoid that big turnover to Jordan Love? He had a great game last week, but he also did put the ball in very dangerous situations. And the only reason he didn't have them is defense not being able to catch a ball, penalties canceling it out. So it's just going to come down to, can Jordan Love put a clean game together against this Washington team that is going to go in there not fearing them because of how they played last year and everything. So I think it's going to come down to a very close game. In the end, Green Bay is going to sneak it out very close at the end of the game.
All right, let's go to the next one. Giants and Cowboys. These two teams lost the first week. If you look at the stats, Giants barely have any points. They're 32nd in the league, okay? And they're going against Dallas. In Dallas. It might be close. I don't know. Dallas is always unpredictable. They could actually have a good game 1 week, and then the next week they might have a bad week. They always do that. They really do. So I'm going to pull an upset on this one. I'm going to pull the Giants over the Cowboys.
This is a game where we get to see if what Dallas's offense is truly capable of, because if they can't take advantage of this Giants team that just got torched and didn't do anything, there's a lot more problems in going in Dallas than what is seen right now. If George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and that offense can't score points against this Giants defense, there's a lot more issues. I'm going to go with Dallas in this game, probably by a blowout, and it gets closer and closer to ZDP's prediction of Russ not making it past week 3.
It's an NFC East matchup. You can't go through and knock that. They're going to go through and compete. My verdict, Cowboys at home, 28-17.
What you got for the next game, CDP?
The Seahawks versus the Steelers. I was wrong about Rodgers. He showed flashes. Jalen Ramsey is what clutched the game. Knocking that ball, coming with the hit to introduce himself into the steel curtain. My verdict, Steelers, 28-24.
Which Rodgers are we going to see? Are we going to see the Green Bay glory Rodgers? Or we're going to see the modern Rodgers that gets hurt after a few games? I got to go with the Steelers, too, at home by 7.
I'm just going to make a clean sweep of the Steelers. I feel like this game is going to be where we see the real Steelers defense show up, not the pretend Steelers defense that showed up last week. I feel like they're going to get after Darnold. He's going to go back to how he was before Minnesota, making those crazy mistakes that people are like, what are you doing, Darnold, kind of deal. And I think Aaron Rodgers doesn't need to have a great game, but good enough for the Steelers to pull out the victory.
Next one, we got the Rams and the Titans. I got a feeling that Matthew Stafford is going to have a phenomenal game in this one. Rams over the Titans by 10.
Cam Ward didn't do so well week 1. He took 6 sacks, and the Titans defense had a total of 4 takeaways. With 4 takeaways, usually if you win the turnover battle, you're going to win the game. But it's another loss for the Titans. Rams 21-12.
This is going to be an interesting view for Cam Ward. He's going to see an offense where he's going to feel a little more pressure in this game because he's going to have to score with the Rams. I don't see Stafford making the same mistakes that Bo Nix did, not giving the ball up, and you're going to see the Rams put points up, and you're just going to make Cam Ward slowly might have to consider playing hero ball. It might cost him. I think Puka's going to be able to play. I know he went out for a concussion but came back. He looked at the hit. That's automatically going to get viewed for a concussion, and then how he started bleeding from his eyelid just because I got hit. But I think he'll be fine. And I expect him and Stafford to have a big game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Devontae Adams shows up in this game pretty big because everyone's going to forget about him with Puka. I'm going to go with you guys. The Rams are going to win this game.
All right, let's go to the next one. Buffalo and Jets. Bills. Bills. Okay? Bills are going to dominate. More than 14, I got a feeling. It's going to be a lot.
Let's go Buffalo. The Jets are not the Ravens, and what he did to the Ravens is going to be a repeat, and that defense is just going to have a better game than they did against the Ravens.
Bills, for me, 28-21. Next matchup, we have the Patriots versus the Dolphins. It's time to move on for Tua. I got the Patriots winning this 18-15.
This is a little boring game. It's not who wants to win it. I mean, they're both 0-1. They're playing in Miami. There's no Belichick. There's no Brady. There's no more magic in this game anymore. A rebuilding team against a team that has a okay quarterback that has not proved himself yet. And you have an old wide receiver. I'm sorry.
Tyreek Hill is actually, there was an alert. I'm sorry to cut you off. Tyreek Hill is in an investigation right now for domestic violence.
Oh, wow. That is breaking news. Jesus. Wow. Okay, yeah. Patriots all the way. Patriots are going to win. It's probably going to be by 3.
As the Patriots fan here, I hate this game. We always play bad, no matter what. When we had Brady, no matter when we had Belichick, we always played bad in the beginning of the year in Miami. With possibly Tyreek missing, how Daniel Jones carved this Miami defense, I'm going to go with the Patriots squeaking one out also in the bottom feeder of the AFC East division game. Miami's going to start looking for their quarterback of the future, either this year with a trade or next year they're going to draft one.
I heard Jameis Winston's on speed dial.
Moving on to the next game, we got Jaguars against Bengals. Come on, man. College rematch for the national championship. Trevor Lawrence against Joe Burrow. Oh, man. And my take on this one, I mean, it's hard to tell. Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, they don't protect Burrow. I'm telling you, dude. I'm going to keep repeating offensive line. I'm going to make a meme that says offensive line is the key to victory. I'm going to take Bengals by 10.
I think in this game, we're going to see this is going to be a true test for the Jaguars defense. Nothing against Carolina Panthers. They're still trying to find their way. They're still trying to figure out even if they have their quarterback of the future, Bryce Young, after his up and downs and this that is roller coaster where they're about to face arguably in the AFC a top 4 quarterback and widely considered in around the league one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks against Trevor Lawrence in that offense. So it's going to be interesting to see if that Jaguars defense can control that offense like the Browns defense did, but I don't know if Jacksonville has the weapons on defense to combat that. And then it's going to be like, can Jacksonville win a shootout if they get into it? And thinking of all that, give me the Bengals. I just trust that offense to be able to score more as a statement of seeing them in the past be able to put up points.
In the NFL, a win's a win. The Jags won against a high school team, and the Bengals won from the Browns being the Browns. This QB matchup is a tale of tales, being the third matchup between the two. In 2019, the national championship, Burrow won 42-25. Then the next matchup, week 4 of the 2021 season, Burrow won the matchup 24-21. This is the third time that these two guys will be matching up. They say the third time is a charm, but I do not see this outcome being any different as Burrow leads his team to another victory, 28-25, because he's got a better supporting cast. That's one of the reasons why I'm going with Burrow again in this matchup, winning a sweep 3-0. Trevor Lawrence gets kicked to the curb after this year, and they're going to be drafting their quarterback of the future.
All right, we'll go into the next one. We got 49ers at Saints.
So regardless of injuries on the team, it's McCaffrey. It's the McCaffrey show. You can go through and put the man in the box, like Alice in Chains. Man in the box, he's going to go through and break those chains, and he's going to go through and lead his team to victory, 21-13 over the Saints.
This is going to be the running back game between the crazy explosiveness of McCaffrey versus Kamara. Who is going to make the big play for their team? I just trust Kyle Shanahan to somehow draw up a crazy offensive plays that we haven't seen before. McCaffrey's going to have a decent game, and then the 49ers are going to pull some guy that we've never heard of out of the hat and say this guy is now the best receiver in the league because it's Kyle Shanahan's offense. So give me the 49ers.
All right, you guys ready for this? Man, this is the first time I take off my glasses during a podcast, but that's only because I'm serious. Let me say this. Last week when I went and watched this, the week 1 of New Orleans, super excited, super hyped because it was the start of the NFL season. Shout out to everybody that went out there. It was great. But my goodness, the Saints love to get cheated on. Please tell me you guys saw that clear PI that was not even called. And I'm like, dude, the ghosts are hunting again. Literally, like, atrocious. The fact that Rattler rallied to literally pull them within victory, I give him props for that. But my goodness, Saints fans are the worst. Why are you bashing on a quarterback that literally came back and almost tied or won the game for you? You basically tell him to get out of town, get out of here, we don't want you anymore. That's going to get him really emotional because it's his second year. Cut that dude some slack. Like, I'm tired of people bashing him. Give him time to develop because last year he only did 6 games. And he didn't have all the weapons that he needed. I kid you not. Atrocious from a lot of fans that basically want him out already. Kellen Moore not calling timeouts on the first half. You should do better than that. You should actually do better clock management. And then literally come back after half and just underperform in the first play. And literally wait till the end to actually try catch up. Dude, I'm sorry. You can't win games like that. You need to do better when it comes to clock management. I know it's his first year as head coach, but my goodness, dude, you should know better. You've been an offensive coordinator for so many years already. You should know how to manage a clock because you're under different coaches. I'm not trying to go like every win, but because there's not gonna be no quarterback for 49ers. There might be, who knows? I mean, McCaffrey might actually not play well because he's playing away from home. But like I said, I mean, it's going to come down to the running backs. But I see the Saints winning this one by 7. The next matchup, we got Browns and Ravens. I got a feeling that the Ravens are going to destroy the Browns. The fact that Buffalo came back and beat them, they're mad. They're really going to come with a storm and show no mercy to whoever the next opponent was. And unfortunately, it had to be your Browns. Ravens over the Browns by at least 10.
I'm taking Baltimore. Nothing against the Browns. I don't trust their quarterback. That Browns defense last week played an amazing game. Held the Cincinnati Bengals offense, which normally is a very high-power offense, to 149 total yards. Flacco couldn't do anything. That Browns defense is probably going to have to play out of their minds again to even have this game close. I just don't trust Joe Flacco doing anything in the regular season. They're just slowly getting closer to starting one of those rookies in Cleveland, so give me Baltimore.
My Browns. Man, they love to put their fan base on a roller coaster ride. I wish I could go through and pull a Louis on this one, but sorry, guys. I'm going to put Lamar's going to go through and do Lamar things. The Ravens are on a revenge tour, and the Browns will be the Browns. 28-17, Ravens. Let's get to the next game. We got the Bears versus the Lions. My verdict on this one, the Lions will bounce back at home, winning 28-24.
I got the Lions winning by 3.
I trust Jared Goff over Caleb Williams down the end of the game. Caleb Williams is going to do Caleb Williams things. It's either going to be something crazy or something is going to bounce wrong for the Bears, as it always does for the Bears. These crazy games. Give me the Lions in a close game.
Next game we got, it's the Broncos versus the Colts. Both teams are 1-0. The Colts did a really sneaky thing this past week. Their defense is looking pretty scary. I think Nix is going to go through and clean up his play, and Danny Dimes will come back to penny plays. Broncos 24-20.
The fact that the Colts stomped Miami on their first game, which took everybody by surprise. I see the Colts keep winning. Daniel Jones looks phenomenal. Colts over the Broncos by 10.
I just don't think the Colts defense is going to be able to get those turnovers like they did against Tua and them. And the Broncos defense is way better than Miami Dolphins defense. Daniel Jones is going to have to finally face a good defense, and I think we're going to see old Daniel Jones rear his head. I like the Broncos in this game.
The next game we got, it's the Panthers versus the Cardinals. My verdict of this one, Marvin Harrison Jr., Maserati Harrison Jr. is going to have another game. Bryce and the Panthers are going to continue to struggle. Cardinals 20-10.
I go with Cardinals on this one. Harrison smoked us big time. I'm going to win it by at least 10 again.
Give me the Cardinals in this. JC Horn's going to be a little tougher matchup for Harrison, and I feel like in this game, the Panthers look like they're at a loss, and they're going to slowly get closer to considering replacing Bryce Young as their starting quarterback, either during the year like they did last year, or they're just going to draft one coming out. Bryce Young's slowly on his way out of Carolina.
The next game we got, the Eagles and the Chiefs. Another Super Bowl matchup. There's no suspensions. As we know, the Carter suspension has been held up. Mahomes is going to have a difficult time, but he's going to go through and make enough plays. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they're going to go through and show up in this game. They didn't show up last week. Being an Arrowhead, Mahomes is going to be your game manager. I have the Chiefs winning in a close one, 21-20.
I got the Eagles actually beating the Chiefs on this one.
Mahomes not having the weapons that he would like to have, but his main weapon now being Kelsey against that Eagles defense who, with Carter back, is just going to be too smothering for those other guys to break free. So it's going to be Eagles riding Saquon.
The next game we have here is the Falcons versus the Vikings. Get emotions on opposite side of the spectrum. A heartbreaking loss, a last-minute game-winning drive. JJ had a slow start, but will he continue this momentum? I had the Vikings winning 24-18.
I got the Falcons actually coming close on this one, but I got a feeling that Vikings are going to prevail. But, I mean, I feel sorry for the Atlanta Falcons fans that basically were celebrating early that they would have been beaten Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay is in another level right now. So, I'm sorry that happened, Atlanta Falcons fans. But I got a feeling that you're going to come close on this one. This is not your week, but I got a feeling that your first win is coming. I promise you. And that's not me being mean to y'all. As much as we're rivals and everything, I'm just being realistic because Minnesota looks decent, and I'm just saying, like, you're gonna win some games, Falcons. Don't worry. You might. I wouldn't care if you guys beat us. Hey, props to y'all.
Give me Minnesota in this game. I just think JJ figured out, if in doubt, throw it up, and JJ's going to be there. JJ, he literally figured it out late in the game. I have Justin Jefferson. They don't have anyone who can stop him, so he's going to throw it and be like, oh, Jefferson's down there somewhere. He'll make a play.
We got Buccaneers and Texans. Easily, I'm going to say right now, Buccaneers again. No questions asked.
Give me the Buccaneers. I just don't think the Texans have enough on defense to stop that offense.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers as well. Baker was efficient last week. He actually led the team in rushing as well. And I think he threw a pass to himself. No, I'm just kidding. He had Mbuka. He threw 2 touchdowns too. In his crazy stats, the Bucs actually had less total yards in time of possession than the Falcons, but still was able to go through and win through the efficiency and game managing of Baker Mayfield. Buccaneers 24-20.
Final matchup, we got Chargers versus Raiders. This should be interesting. Dude, I'm telling you, what did I say in the first week, CDP? That the AFC West was going to be a crazy division. And so far it's proven to be a good division. But in this one, honestly, I'm still riding the boat since we started. Justin Herbert, buddy. He's going to do phenomenal on this. Again, Chargers over the Raiders by 14.
I was wrong about both these teams. I thought they were going to be leaning into the run game. Chargers had 90 yards rushing, while the Raiders had 56 yards rushing. Justin Herbert and Geno Smith were sensational last week, both throwing over 300 yards. Herbert had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Geno Smith had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. My verdict in this one, in this AFC West matchup, time of possession is going to be key here. If the Chargers can repeat what they did against the reigning AFC champions, I can see them pulling out this victory 27-24.
For my pick, give me the Chargers. Nothing against the Raiders. The Chargers are on a different level than the Patriots on offense and defense. The Chargers have an identity, and they have three good weapons at wide receiver with the Patriots. As a fan, it hurts me to say, we don't really have anyone. We have one receiver where the Chargers have three, and they have a decent running back. So give me the Chargers to slowly close in on maybe dethroning the Chiefs for the AFC West title.
Yeah, I want to go through and say thank you, everybody, for going through and tuning in. Thank you so much, Doyle, for going through and taking time out of your day to be part of this podcast. Hopefully, we can go through and get you on for more takes and stuff like that. Like I said, I always love having you on. Louis, thank you so much for going through and hosting this podcast. Go through and check us out on all social media platforms. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch you on the flop.
As always, today's episode was broadcast live on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. If you couldn't make it to the live segment, feel free to watch it on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and iHeart Radio. Links on the description below. See you next time.
I'm letting you guys know right now, we reach 500 subscribers on YouTube. We'll do a huge giveaway. Did you guys hear the chants for MVP? Please tell me you heard the chants for MVP for Lamar in Buffalo.